Hello, hello, nerds. This is a morning stream. Oh, and I just woke up, so my apologies. No glasses or nothing. We have news to talk about. We actually have a decent amount of news today, so that's going to be lots of fun. I have mentioned thought to mention this before, but I've the music that's been playing over the waiting screen, as I'm referring to it in inside my head. These are creations that I have made. These are effectively demos for songs that I am actively writing, and I'm just running ideas through Suno to see what works and to see, lyrical delivery and things like that. So, fun little bit of information for you. We have honestly quite a bit. There's let's do the sponsor thing because that's necessary. We have the merch. Go check out the store. Get your nerd your music nerd shirt, the Phantom of the Opera, Phantom Nerd, whatever I've been calling it. I can't remember. It's been a minute. But yeah, go check out the store. Linked down in the description. You can go get your music nerd shirt. I'm pretty proud of mine. I don't know where it is right now. It's probably in storage in a completely different state, honestly, considering the way things have been going with my personal life. So go check that out. We also have the channel, if I can find it. Maybe downstream keyer. See, sponsor Dubby. We have Dubby. Go check out Dubby. Dubby.gg is the website. Generally Nerdy is the code at checkout for you to get 10% off of your entire cart. It helps you get a little bit of a discount. It helps me get a little bit of a kickback. And it helps Dubby move some fantastic products. So if you're in the market for energy drinks and you need something original, then definitely go check out their s'mores flavor. I saw G Fuel is doing like a Kit Kat flavor, which is going to be good, I'm sure, but it's not going to be nearly as good as the s'mores. So yes, check out the Dubby. It is great. It is wonderful. Other favorites of theirs, Calio Cream and the Tiger's Blood, also fantastic. Their Push and Punch is their fruit punch version, also really good. But I definitely, if you're just starting with Dubby, I think that Tiger's Blood and probably s'mores is the way to go. So again, Dubby.gg, code generally nerdy at checkout, and you can get your 10% off. That is the obligatory doing the thing and the stuff. Let's move right along into the news, shall we? All right. So, information of the things and the stuff. We have zombies confirmed for season 2. This is just a real quick one. It was fun for the title, so that's where we went. But the article is Brad Winterbaum rather, appears to have confirmed Marvel Zombie Season 2. Speaking on the Escape Podcast YouTube channel, head of Marvel TV said he watched early material from a second season, which is the first clear sign that Marvel is moving forward with more episodes, which is pretty great. Still haven't watched it, the first season, but I've heard great things, all right? So there's that. We are... fine. The camera's fine. Winterbaum said... I don't think it's a spoiler, but I saw the first animatic of the first episode of Marvel Zombie Season 2 this morning. He also teased that the series will feature something new for the MCU. Winterbaum added it includes an MCU thing that has never had... Oh, because he's speaking... verbal commas. The MCU thing that, has never really happened before that we're very excited to do, which, vague things, right? Marvel Zombie Season 1 was a 4-episode animated series that premiered on Disney Plus in September 24 of 2025. It spun out of the zombie universe first introduced in What If, which was then also kind of a spin-off of the comic book zombie universe, right? Followed a new group of survivors trying to stay alive in a world overrun undead Marvel heroes, which is just exactly what the comic book was. Centers on Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, Riri Williams as they battle through the apocalypse alongside other survivors while facing zombified Avengers and other infected heroes. I didn't hear horrible things. By the end, surviving humans went up against zombified Wanda Maximoff, the Queen of the Dead, who was trying to claim the power of the Infinity Stones from the Hulk. Survivors lost, Wanda won, and the season ended on a dark note with Kamala trapped in one of Wanda's illusions as the zombies came out on top. That's kind of how the comic books... Well, in that the zombies succeeded more than the living did in the comics. That's echoes of the comics. But again, I haven't heard bad things about season 1, so it's definitely worth a watch. If you haven't, I still intend on watching it, so there's that. Next up is the first of two, that's right, two Batman pieces that we're going to be talking about. This one has to do more with the freaking Snyderverse, though I think this one is kind of actually pretty cool. And as much momentum as I don't want to admit the Snyderverse has for a resurgence, or for reinstatement, I guess is probably the more accurate way of putting that. I think that if it does end up getting revived, this will be awesome if this gets made, because this is actually one of the biggest reasons why I don't think the entire Snyderverse will be reinstated, because Ben Affleck is the biggest element of my understanding of this. Ben Affleck is done with superhero movies. Ben Affleck is he's got his big production, it's a new production house that he started with Matt Damon. He's doing other movies himself where he has a lot more creative control, that Warner Brothers isn't going to step in and slap his hands away. And this Ben Affleck is the biggest reason. And then also we have Jason Momoa also being crazy busy. But part of that is still working with DC to play Lobo, so he's less of an issue. And then Gal Gadot, I don't know that she's got a whole lot going on these days, so I'm sure she's champing at the bit just to try to get back into those Wonder Woman tights, right? So Ben Affleck is the biggest issue with the reinstatement of the Snyderverse. Also, I don't want the Snyderverse to come back. We're just gonna put that out there. So the article here is about the what could have been if Ben had been able to make his version of the Batman movie. Would have been a la the Dark Knight in the comic books, in that he's an older Bruce Wayne Batman, and just kind of towards the end of his career, as it were. From what was previously reported, I haven't read this article, so maybe that would have been a little bit different, but I mean, Ben's a little bit older, so only stands to reason, right? So, article is as follows. Ben Affleck's canceled Batman movie reportedly would have featured Mr. Freeze and leaned heavily into Arkham Asylum. Oh, that's dope. Adding a new detail to the long-scrapped DC project that also had Joe Manganiello lined up as Deathstroke. Joe Manganiello is a key to the not continuing of the Snyderverse as well, because he's also kind of a busy man, but emphasis on kind of. What the hell has Joe Manganiello done in the last 8 years? Not a whole lot. I think the Peavy movie was, I think, the last thing he did that was noteworthy anyway. Joe Manganiello lined up as Deathstroke. The new info comes from Hollywood artist and illustrator Skylar Pinkerton, who shared details on his social media while replying to a fan. Pinkerton said he worked on previs material for the film and claimed the canceled Batman movie included Mr. Freeze. He described Freeze as a small part in the story, but said the character was more than a cameo. Pinkerton also said that Mr. Freeze material was beautiful and haunting. Oh, why can't we see this material? That would be awesome. Freeze is such a dynamic character. He added that the movie was heavily tied to Arkham Asylum, with multiple villains set to appear. Also cool. Lines up with the darker direction fans had long heard Affleck wanted for the project. Bob Richardson previously pointed darker Arkham story. Pinkerton also referenced comments previously made by cinematographer Bob Richardson, who was attached to the movie. Back in 2019, Richardson said he wanted to shoot Batman with Affleck and confirmed there was a script, though he said it was not a script people loved at the time. He also said Affleck was continuing to rework it. That's where it was left. That's what Affleck, I think, was on like the third or fourth revision of the script, trying to get approval from the studio heads, and that was it. He got burnt out trying to appease them and said, all right, then I'm just going to leave. And then, the Snyderverse collapsed unto itself anyway. Richardson explained, continuing with the article, that Affleck's take was heading into the insanity side of Batman. He said the story would have gone darker than past versions and focused more on who Batman was internally, including what parts of him were sane and what parts were not. He also said Affleck was moving into Arkham and into a place where, quote, everyone was bad, unquote, which is some of the best stuff in the comics. So, I think Affleck maybe had a better grasp of the character than Gunn. Definitely had a better grasp of the character than Snyder did, because Snyder put a gun in the man's hand. Come on now. These comments now sound even more in line with what Pinkerton is saying about Arkham Asylum and a larger villain presence. Deathstroke was also set for a major role. Joe Manganiello had also been linked to the movie as Deathstroke, which had been one of the best known details about Ben Affleck's Batman plans. With this latest Mr. Freeze claim, it sounds like Affleck's film may have been shaping up as a villain-heavy psychological Batman story centered on Arkham Asylum, with Deathstroke as the main threat and other Gotham rogues showing up along the way. Which kind of would be awesome. So, like, take the Arkham Asylum comic book and then insert Deathstroke as a proper antithesis to Batman, and that sounds really awesome. The movie never happened, but the latest comments offer another look at how different Affleck's Batman could have been from what ended up on the screen. Like, I don't know, this picture feels like it's been doctored a little bit to make it brighter, but the possibilities with that, the idea of Deathstroke as the I can't, the words are hard first thing in the morning. Just feels like that could have been so much better than the Robert Pattinson movie, which the Robert Pattinson movie is fine. It's definitely no Dark Knight, but it's fine. I feel like the Affleck movie could have been, with this information and assuming that Affleck was as true to the source material as I'm hoping he would have been, this feels like it could have been great. It could have been maybe not on par with Dark Knight or Batman Begins, but Dark Knight Rises, perhaps? Just would have been freaking fantastic. So, let's move right along. We got to make this snappy today there, nerds. The other big piece, and then we'll get to more Batman. Different Batman, but more Batman. The other big piece that was teased in actually two more Batman things. Oh boy! Other big piece is Daredevil Season 3 confirms the return of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. So we're getting Jessica Jones in Season 2, and apparently for Season 3, we're going to get Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Sure, why not? Daredevil Born Again Season 3 is continuing filming, and set pics show Mike Coulter back as Luke Cage and Finn Jones back as Iron Fist. They're also seen with Kristen Ritter, who returned as Jessica Jones in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which I have yet to start watching, though apparently it is streaming on Disney+. So you should go watch it, because Season 1 was decent. Wasn't great. Wasn't quite as good as Season 1 of the Netflix series, but it was pretty damn good. Also seen with Kristen Ritter. Oh, we just read that part. Luke Cage and Iron Fist return in Season 3. The big news from the set pics is that Luke Cage and Iron Fist are both back. That means Marvel is bringing more of the Netflix Defenders characters into Daredevil Born Again beyond just Jessica Jones. There we see the images. Luke Cage, Iron Fist. With Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist all back in the mix, Season 3 looks like it could be reuniting the Defenders. Marvel hasn't officially announced story details, but the set pics point to a bigger street-level crossover, which is kind of how that show works at its best. Luke Cage and Iron Fist return together also opens the door for Heroes for Hire, which is eventually leads to Deadpool, which would be a really interesting crossover. At least a fantastic cameo that we could have Deadpool in a Daredevil show, just for brief, because like he takes over the Heroes for Hire in the comics, if I'm remembering this correctly, because it's been a minute. But I'm pretty sure that was what he was working when he was a good guy, when he was actively trying to do good and not just be Deadpool. But please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So the article finishes, years ago, Marvel insiders at Comic-Con told us being Cosmic Book, which is where we get most of our news, at Comic-Con told us that the MCU would eventually do Heroes for Hire. With Coulter and Jones now back together in Daredevil Born Again Season 3, this may finally be happening. So that's kind of awesome. Um, I really didn't like the Iron Fist show, but nobody really liked the Iron Fist show. And the Luke Cage show was a little too heavy handed for most people as well. Like, just focus on the heroes and try to minimize your social narrative, and I think you'll have a better hit on yourself on your hands. So all right, so that's our three big ones that were teased in the thumbnail. Let's continue with some Batman stuff. I want to get to this rumor real quick. This is a rumor, so keep that in mind. We have a rumor about the Matt Reeves Batman, aka Battinson. Apparently is being canceled after movie number 2. Let's check this out. So, Matt Reeves now has another major directing project lined up, and it's not Batman 3. Variety reports Reeves is attached to direct, executive produce, and executive produce an Apple TV adaptation of The Bonfire of the Vanities from David E. Kelly, with Warner Brothers Television producing. We know that Reeves is finally moving ahead with Batman Part 2 and was thought to be completing his trilogy eventually with The Batman Part 3. Though this does not necessarily exclude him from doing Part 3. It just puts Part 3 a little further out, right? So Reeves taking on Bonfire of the Vanities suggests his next directing priority after Batman Part 2 may not automatically be a third Batman movie. Worth pointing out is that Variety's report does not say the Batman trilogy is dead or when Reeves will direct the Apple series, but it does show Reeves is already looking beyond Gotham. Reeves' IMDb page shows a pretty selective directing track: the Planet of the Apes films, the Batman, the next Batman Part 2, and now Bonfire of the Vanities. He doesn't seem like a director who takes on projects casually. This is very true. This was established when we got him for the first Batman movie, right? So Batman Part 3 still hasn't been made official. Batman Part 3 also isn't official. So while Reeves may still want to finish the story as a trilogy, there has still been no formal announcement locking in a third movie. I feel like at this point, because they have so many canceled projects, so many DC projects that just kind of fluttered off into nothing. I'm specifically looking at the Wonder Woman movies. I'm specifically looking at the Justice League movie. Like, they were starting to, and that's the Snyderverse, so like it is what it is. But we have Superman potentially not going anywhere because of the regime change over at Warner Brothers. We have Supergirl potentially not going anywhere. We have just so many of these projects that are like, well, I guess this is not happening now. The Batgirl movie that got made and then never released, which kind of is not a horrible thing, I think. But still, like, these are projects that were hyped up and starting to get promotion, and then they just never came to fruition. And so, like, I feel like it would just be bad form because the Batman movies, the Batman movies is a weird way to say things, but is, I think, necessary considering the marketing and such. These movies are an Elseworlds. They are removed from the rest of the DC Warner Brothers stuff. So why not just finish it? Why not? The first one was pretty successful. The second one seems to be an interest amongst fans to see if they can continue with that success. The spin-off of these movies, the Penguin show, was an amazing success for Warner Brothers. So why not just finish it? Why not just give us a complete buttoned up wrapped story with this really cool side quest in the Penguin? Like, can't we just have one thing get completed, please, Warner Brothers, before you guys go the way of the buffalo forever? Like, oh, that's just frustrating. Even though it's not the best Batman story ever, it's a pretty good Batman movie. So, like, let's get it to a some sort of cathartic end, please. That leaves room for change. The article continues, especially with the studio situation now in flux, which may mean Reeves is forced to complete his Batman story in the second film. Warner Bros. Discovery, and I don't know, maybe if they finish it, and I don't think they will. I don't think they're able to. But if they can work it out so that the story has a cathartic end by the end of the second movie, maybe I'll change my tune. But I just feel like it follows a pretty decent arc. We have a really good setup in the first movie, and then if we have some great world building and character building and establishing a overall arc in the second movie, and then we bring that arc to a conclusion in the third movie, being probably a Joker story, because that seems to be the direction that we're headed. Because the first movie sets up that the Joker is an element in this. The second movie is going to set up, from what we've heard in the rumors, the second movie is going to set up the Joker's not going to be the main villain once again, but he is going to be an element of the story, in that, if I'm remembering the most recent rumors correctly, he's supposed to be released or break out somehow from Arkham Asylum. So if that happens in the second movie, it's Schrodinger's gun, man. We have to see the Joker be used as a villain by the third movie. That only makes sense. This is the ultimate setup for what very potentially could be an epic Joker story, and we're not going to get it? Like, that's bogus. It's so bad. Anyway, Warner Brothers Discovery planned sale to Paramount Skydance could be a big part of the equation. Paramount announced that the deal is expected to close in Q3 of 2026, subject to regulatory clearance and shareholder approval, and Warner Brothers Discovery has set its shareholder vote for April 23rd of 2026, this year. That means DC's long-term future could still shift depending on what the merged company decides to do with the brand, which also is going to affect the Injustice games. Sadly, I hope we get more, but we might not. And look at that Darkseid. Oh, he's so badass. I mean, say what you will about the story of the Snyderverse, like, the visuals were pretty great. Like, Batman and Superman looking like superheroes was awesome. And then also our villains looking like that. Come on now, man. I think that's a big part of the reason why so many people are pro Snyderverse, because, like, it visually looked fantastic. The story was garbage, but it visually looked fantastic. Well, I guess the mythology. The story was sufficient, but the mythology was garbage. They broke everything. What we've been told about DC. Reeves' Batman universe potentially getting canceled lines with what insiders have filled us in about the future of DC. While we haven't been told details about Reeves' Batman plans, we have been told James Gunn will be out as head of DC Studios and that Zack Snyder's Snyderverse will be back. I still don't think that's accurate. The James Gunn gone, yes, that makes sense. But Snyderverse reinstated. There's too many cogs that need to be re-put into that wheel. From what we've been told, Zack will be back with new Justice League sequels and may even adapt The Dark Knight Returns, which could be good. Could be, as long as he adapts it properly. To get rid of the damn guns, dude. Our recent info actually says Snyder was approached for a return by the studio and not vice versa. We talked about that ever so briefly in one of the streams last week. We've also been told that following the Snyderverse, that DC will undergo another reboot, possibly under Mike DeLuca. Batman Part 2 is expected to be released October 1st of next year. So it's difficult, man. It's difficult because theoretically we have 3 different Batman movies now, right? We have the Batman Part 2, hopefully the Batman Part 3, but those are kind of a continuation of the same. We have The Brave and the Bold, which is what James Gunn is supposedly working on for his first Batman movie. And then we have the Snyder Batman, a.k.a. Ben Affleck's Batman, a.k.a. Batfleck. It's difficult to say exactly which of those is actually going to come to fruition. Obviously, we're getting the Batman Part 2. That's in the pipeline already. They're not going to Batgirl that and make the movie just to put it on the shelf and never see the light of day. That's not going to happen with Batman Part 2. Will they greenlight a third movie is the big question. Will they reinstate the Snyderverse is the other big question. And will James Gunn actually get to make Brave and the Bold? Probably not. I don't think that's really much of a question at all. I think that James Gunn's goals to make the Brave and the Bold movie are lofty at best. So that's kind of where we're at with the Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman universe. And then we're going to continue on the Batman train. Let's go now to the comic books, because this Absolute Batman is just tearing things up, is going all kinds of crazy, and everyone is loving it. I still have not yet read it. I think I'm going to wait for the trade, but Scott Snyder, not Zack Snyder. This is a different Snyder, no relation. Scott Snyder teases Absolute Rob. Let's start that again, shall we? Scott Snyder teases Absolute Robin reveal in Absolute Batman number 20 as giant mech theory spreads. Wouldn't that be crazy if Robin was just a mech? That's funny. Full cover revealed for Absolute Batman number 20, confirming the rumors. Oh, look at that. Scott Snyder says, "Hey everyone, because some of the images are starting to appear out there, DC has decided to reveal the cover of Absolute Batman number 20 today. In May, the Robins enter the story in a huge way. Really excited for you guys to see what we have planned and to hear your thoughts." So is Robin a suit that Absolute Batman... Oh, I don't know. There's another suit in the background. What is going on, man? Maybe if I had been reading the comics, I would have a better idea. We have a synopsis here, too, it looks like. Yeah, we do. Oh, and a bigger version. Oh, look at that. So we have 2 super mechs. Both have a Robin logo on them. This one's got a Med logo on it, too, which is interesting. And then we have 3 motorcycles, and Batman looking like he's squaring off against the Robins. What is going on in this story, you guys? Somebody who's reading it, please inform me, because I'm super intrigued. Maybe I'm not going to wait for the trade. Oh man, that looks dope. Anyway, is this the synopsis? Yeah, this is the real quick, like, blurb synopsis. As the dust settles in the city of Gotham after the loss of Redacted... Oh, I think I know who that is, but I'm drawing a blank right now. Anyway, after loss of Redacted, Robins enter the scene ready to hunt, and more than one secret will be revealed in this seminal issue. Yeah, I can get behind that. So it looks like we have... Maybe that's Grayson, and this... Jason Todd? Which one is it that becomes Red Robin? I can't remember. That's dumb. Maybe that's... I don't know. Anyway, the article reads as follows. Scott Snyder says Absolute Batman number 20 will reveal his and Nick Dragotta's take on Robin, and the tease has already kicked off a wild fan theory online. Snyder posted on X that DC will reveal the cover to Absolute Batman number 20 this Wednesday, or, already, because they did it. This article is from yesterday, the day before, I can't remember. Let's go to it, actually. From 2 days ago. So, Snyder posted on X the reveal before the final cutoff, which is 2 weeks away. He said, revealing the cover early is not ideal because it gives away their concept of Robin, but added they do not want to hurt retailers by waiting too long. That's kind of cool. That's the teaser image. Snyder wrote, quote, "Just a heads up to give retailers enough time to allow people to order issue 20 before FOC 2 weeks from today. We're going to reveal the cover to 20 this Wednesday." He continued, "It's not ideal as the cover shows our concept of Robin, but we don't want to hamstring retailers either. That confirms Absolute Batman 20 is set to show readers this version of Robin in a big way," which, yeah, that's a pretty big way. The issue goes on sale May 13th. So awesome. The solicit for Absolute Batman 20 reads, as the dust settles, we've already, blah, blah, blah. The wording makes it sound like Robin is only part of the story. Snyder is also teasing other major reveals tied to Gotham, and whatever fallout hits the books before issue number 20. With Snyder confirming the cover shows their full Robin concept, fans are already throwing out theories online. One of the biggest is Absolute Robin is not a traditional sidekick at all, but some kind of giant mech. That theory has picked up attention on social media and fits with how strange and unpredictable the Absolute line has been. Nothing from Snyder confirms the mech idea yet. Right now, it is only a fan theory. Still, the fact Snyder admitted the cover revealed the spoiler tells you this Robin design is probably going to be anything but standard. Yeah. Absolute Batman release info. Issue number 20 is written by Scott Snyder with art and cover by Nick Dragotta. The issue goes on sale May 13th. Scott Snyder also recently opened up about the larger plans for the Absolute Universe at MegaCon, which I think we talked about, but either way, not relevant to this particular piece. That's so cool. I love the design of this. I'm not a huge fan, though maybe once I read it, it will change, but I'm not a huge fan of the change for the Absolute line as far as like who Bruce is or who Batman is. But the storytelling that's come out of that change has been pretty dynamic, and I'm always down for some good dynamic storytelling. So that's what we got for the comic books. I do have water. Huzzah. I'm going to get a little bit of water because I've got some cotton mouth going on. And check the chat. A little quiet in chat these days. Oh man, we're gonna have to go quicker with these. We have a couple of quick ones, I think. Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk about the Jonathan Majors thing, but we do have two quick ones that we're going to talk about real quick, and then we have some... I don't know. I think we have a batch of quick ones. Just a couple here on Cosmic Book. So, American Horror Story Season 13 confirms Coven return with Jessica Lange back. Heck yeah, Betty! American Horror Story Season 13 is officially going back to the witches. Ryan Murphy has confirmed the new season is a continuation of Coven, and he also shared the first look at Jessica Lange returning as filming gets underway. I think that might be what that picture is. The image keeps the exact character details under wrap, but Murphy's Instagram activity made the big takeaway clear. The witches are back. Lange's return is a big deal on its own. She has not appeared in the series since Apocalypse, and Murphy's first look photo shows her standing at a tall window in a shot that instantly feels like classic American Horror Story. True, I agree with that. Also, it looks like she's looking across at a hotel, which would seem to imply that she herself is in a hotel. Maybe it's just a tall house, but that looks kind of hotel-like, right? So is this also a continuation of Hotel to some degree? Or is it a prequel maybe to the Hotel story? Interestingly enough, the image appears to hint at Constance Langdon again from Murder House, not from Fiona Good, not at Fiona Good, blah, blah, blah. The all-powerful witch. But that part has not been explicitly confirmed by Murphy. What he did confirm was that the Coven connection. Wow, words. I'm sorry, guys. When a fan asked for a Coven extension and specifically mentioned wanting Angela Bassett's Marie Laveau back, Murphy replied, done. The announced Season 13 lineup includes Jessica Lange, Sarah Paulson, Evan Peters. Oh, dope. Peters is back, too. Kathy Bates is back, which you would expect with Coven being the thing. Angela Bassett, Emma Roberts, Billy Lord, all Gabourey Sidibe, Leslie Grossman, all the witches. Ariana Grande is a major new addition. Will be making her American Horror Story debut. The season is set to premiere on Halloween of this year. Oh, that's pretty freaking awesome as well. Oh, there we go. That's better. Yeah, she's definitely looking across at a hotel. Like, that is for sure. So I will not be surprised if this is also has ties to Hotel. Cast alone is not why fans immediately connected Season 13 to Coven and Apocalypse. A lot of the core names tied to the witch's mythology are back in the mix, with Murphy now confirming the story is not just witch adjacent, but a direct continuation. Witches first appeared in Coven, which was Season 3 of American Horror Story in 2013. FX labels Coven as the third installment, and the season centered on witchcraft in America, and the young witches tied to Miss Robichaud's academy in New Orleans. That season introduced the main witch mythology through Fiona Good, Angela Lang, Cordelia, Madison Montgomery, Queenie, Myrtle Snow, Misty Day, and Marie Laveau. The Coven story did not fully disappear after that. Queenie crossed over into Hotel. See, so there is ties to Hotel. Where her fate at the Hotel Cortez later became an important part of the witches' storyline. Apocalypse directly referenced that Cordelia had been unable to save her there. The witches then returned in a major way in Apocalypse, which was season 8 in 2018. That season served as a crossover between Murder House, Coven, and Hotel, and it brought the New Orleans Coven back into the center of the franchise as they went up against Michael Langdon and the End of the World. Last full time. Yeah, so this is all rehashing things that we already know because we watched the show, right, guys? So there's that. And then our other quick one is Harry Potter related, is the new HBO Max series. But a Harry Potter trailer nears 250,000 dislikes as fans flood YouTube comments over Black Snape. Which I think if of all of the... I don't know, maybe that's... okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm over it. After getting hammered on X and following the viral AI video, which was awesome. If you haven't watched Snape versus Snape, you really should. I'm really annoyed with this camera right now. Better? We'll see. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Snape versus Snape. If you haven't seen the AI video of Snape versus Snape, where they have like an MMA fight between old Snape and new Snape, it's great. It's kind of hilarious. It's very well done AI video, which is kind of odd to say, but yeah, totally worth a watch. The Harry Potter trailer is also getting hit on YouTube, where the official teaser is sitting at 26,000 likes, 241,000 dislikes after only 12 days. This article is from 2 days ago as well, so I mean, yeah, there's that. Video also has over 907 million views, which shows just how much attention the reboot is getting as the reactions keep building. The near even split between likes and dislikes. Near even? How is that near even? Maybe he left out a digit on the... Let's go look. Let's just pull it up. Let's go... I'll go pull it up in the other window so that we're not doing things that are, you know, whatever. YouTube. And then we go to... Oh, come on. I believe in you, Firefox! Harry Potter HBO trailer. You're a wizard, Harry. The one from 2 weeks ago is sitting at 9.9 million views. Is not going to show me the likes unless I go into it. Ah, that's dumb. You're going to eat up all my RAM. Stop. Go away. Don't play the damn thing. No. Stop it. Okay. All right, so according to this, we are sitting at... Yeah, he left out a digit. 267 likes to 260 now dislikes. So, you heard it here first, folks. All right. Clear up a little bit of that memory. So, yeah, he left out a digit. 267 to 260 is where we're sitting. The video, 9.7 million, blah, blah, blah. Near even split between likes and dislikes stands out because it comes less than 2 weeks after the release. The reaction points to a fandom that is heavily divided, not just a few loud posts on X. That is very, very true. Comment section tells the same story. A lot of top comments are not praising the teaser. They're joking about the casting, comparing the new series to the original films, and making Black Snape the center of the backlash. A new era of Hogwarts begins, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so, yeah, we already know the things and the stuff, so we're not going to go into the details there. This is a very quick piece, and we're over it. So, there's that. It's 10 till 10. I have to be to the day job at 11. So we need to wrap this up in about 20 to 25 minutes. Where shall we go next? Oh, here's another quick one. Spaceballs sequel will be released in April of next year. The Schwartz Awakens in 2027. I love it. I love it. There's finally a release date for the Spaceballs sequel, but before you get too excited with a whole year, it's a whole year away. As first reported by Deadline, Amazon MGM Studios announced on Friday night that the upcoming Spaceballs movie will hit theaters on April 23rd of 2027, right around the 40th anniversary of the first film, which makes sense. That's how you do that. Several members of the original cast will be reprising their roles, according to Deadline, including Mel Brooks, Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, George Winder, and Daphne Zuniga. We've already talked about all of that, but we now know that the plan is 2027, April 23rd. So, awesome. Do we have anything else that's relatively... Oh, this one's huge on the tech side of things. Well, the tech side of entertainment, I guess. Streaming, specifically. Italian court ruled Netflix has to refund its customers for price hikes dating back to 2017. This is a larger conversation that we've kind of dabbled with a little bit here on this channel, but they get into pretty heavily over on the WAN show at the LTT, Linus Tech Tips. And I would have to say I tend towards their argument in that you sign a contract with your streaming service. That contract should be a two-way street in that they should honor their side of the contract, and those clauses of pricing being variable and being able to change on a whim should not be legal. The contract, you should, if they're going to potentially change their prices every year, then your contract should only last for a year. You should have to re-sign every time they change the price so that you know what you're getting into. Because some people, I would venture a good chunk of their audience, just don't realize how much they're spending on the streamers. Not specifically Netflix. I'm talking about all of the streamers because they all do it. They don't fully realize like when the price goes up. Yes, I know they send out the emails and they do all of the things that they're legally required to do, but I just don't think they should be legally allowed to just change the price on a whim. I think there should be a little bit more intention behind those changes, and they should be forced to re-up the contract with subscribers. I know it creates much more of a headache for the business, and generally speaking, I'm not cool with the government stepping in and telling a business how it needs to be run. But I feel like this becomes an issue of protecting the consumers. And just creates better business practice. So, I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence, but I definitely lean towards the idea that such things should not be legal. Anyway. Continuing on, I just heard my phone go off. What the heck? We'll check it in a minute. All right, so the article for this one reads, and this might be a little bit of a longer one. I don't know how short it's going to be, but let's do this. Instead of raising prices again, Netflix may have to lower its subscription costs in Italy. A court in Rome recently ruled that Netflix owed its Italian users a refund for price hikes between 2017 and January of 2024 and a reduction to previous subscription costs. On top of refunds, Netflix Italia would have to inform its affected subscribers of their right to a refund. The lawsuit was originally filed by Movimento Consumatori, whatever that is, a consumer rights organization based in Rome. The group's president, Alessandro Mostaccio, I apologize for butchering your name, or those names anyway, said in a press release that more than 25,000 Netflix users have complained to Movimento Consumatori that they are not satisfied with the price increases over the years. According to the lawyers representing the consumers, premium subscribers are entitled to a refund of roughly 500 euros. Wow, that's a lot of money, man. While standard tier consumers should get back about 250 euros. So we'll just kind of split the difference and say about 325 euro times 25,000 users. That's a lot of dough, man. That's not just like slap on the wrist levels of money. Mustachio also said that if Netflix doesn't immediately reduce prices and refund its customers, the consumer rights organization will pursue a class action lawsuit to recover funds. Netflix spokesperson told Reuters that it would appeal the Italian court's ruling, adding that the company takes consumer rights very seriously and believe our terms have always complied with Italian laws and practice. On the other side of the world, Netflix again raised prices for its U.S. customers, this time across all of its subscription tiers. Oh yeah, by the way, Netflix hiked the prices twice in the span of 12 months this time. So, I don't know, maybe stop giving them your money. Just a thought. So yeah, that's what we got there. Do we want to do... We did Spaceballs. Amazon thing, we might touch on that next week, and that's what we got there. All right, let's get into these videos. So let's avoid the music videos for now. First, we're going to go for an old trailer. Old being that it's like a month old, and I somehow missed it, but we're fixing that right now, guys. From Season 4 is a thing, and this is the trailer. So, real quick before we get into it, come on, pause. Real quick before we get into it, From is a horror franchise that is on MGM Plus that occasionally finds its way over to Amazon Prime. It's great if you like horror and you are not easily squeamish. You're not easily grossed out by gore because it's pretty gory. Then this is absolutely a show you should be watching. This show, from my understanding, there is 2 seasons left. We have season 4, which is coming out next month. I had to look it up because I saw the other thing of this is I saw a portion of this trailer as it played before something that I played and I couldn't skip, so you've seen like the first 5 seconds or something. But, like, if you are not watching this and you're a horror fan, find a way to watch this. Find a way to get your hands on these episodes. If it's to pay the whatever a monthly subscription is to MGM Plus, like $8 or something, pay the $8, watch all 3 existing seasons. Maybe wait until season 4 is completed because they do it once a week. But then watch the whole damn thing, and you will not be sorry. This show is so good. And for all of the issues that it has with story, in that, like, it's got lost-itis, I guess is a way to put it, because a lot of modern shows have this issue, and hopefully it ends better than that. But what do I mean by that is every episode ends with more questions than answers. So you've got this like giant pool of issues as far as like questioning how they're going to be able to complete these storylines and questioning how they're going to be able to complete this series. So they've got to start like they've got to start answering some of these questions soon. But it's really good. It's legitimately, like, every episode feels like a little bit of a heart attack. Like, it's just so high tension and such a really cool premise. All right, so there's that. And I already got out of the way that I've seen some of this, so I'm going to stop gushing. We're going to go into this trailer for season 4 because I'm very intrigued.
I like who I'm becoming.
Boyd.
More people. That would make sense.
What happened down there?
Whoa.
What's that? Why isn't he back?
That's a different kid. We haven't seen that kid in the caves. That almost looked like it was like a flashback for him. There's a weird like time loop element to this show that was introduced in the last season that it seems like maybe they're going to lean into a little bit with season 4. I'm very intrigued.
Again.
Tabitha,
We need to talk.
Knowledge comes at a cost.
it means everything they showed us. It's real. I think they're doing it to make us afraid.
Well, then it worked.
Wait, what did they show us last season? Are they talking about the time loop stuff? There's they had been there before. Oh, I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go rewatch it.
There is something ancient here. And it's feeding off our suffering, and it doesn't stop.
We're losing.
Somebody dies.
We're running out of time and we still don't know
Oh, that's the portal into the tower area. Very
the
interesting.
goddamn rules. There is no way to fight back against those things. Everything we've done, every sacrifice
Wait, what the heck? Now we have telekinetic powers?
made.
Poltergeist action?
Going anywhere.
You think you're some kind of hero? You're a monster.
And then that weird guy that was introduced in the last...
Lord, please protect us in this dark place where evil roams so freely.
Whoa! And now we're actually getting more monsters too?
We ask in your name. Amen.
One way or another, the truth.
Instead of the weird zombie demon things?
I will make sure it doesn't.
Wow. See, that's kind of a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because how many more questions do we have just from the trailer? What did it give the release? It's April something, right? Yeah, April 19th is when the new season starts. Oh man, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Closer the residents of the town get to answers they seek, the more terrifying their search becomes. This chapter will open doors that some in town will end up wishing had remained closed. Oh, that's the whole... Okay. Wow, I'm so hyped for that. Alright, so our next one... next trailer, and then we're going to do some music stuff. But our next trailer is the new Animal Farm. So let's preface this a little bit too, because Animal Farm is, well, let's get into it, I guess. And then we'll pause and start and talk about it. All right, so Animal Farm, obviously, George Orwell's... one of his, like, I would say magnum opus, but I think that might be 1984. One of his more well-known books. Orwell was big on anti-communist sentiment, which is perfectly illustrated by the Animal Farm being anti-communist, very, very anti-communist. It's an allegory for the Bolshevik Revolution and how you're just taking one dictator and replacing it with another when you're living in this socialist communist kind of area of politics. It's a classic. It is something that people have been referencing in relation to modern politics in interesting ways. And now we have a remake of the story. Well, a continuation, I think, is how they're billing this, of the story into a modern storytelling era. And this continuation is supposed to be anti-cronyism, I think very specifically they say anti-cronyism, anti-corporatism. But from the last trailer we saw, and probably from this trailer, from what I've heard, I haven't watched it yet, but from what I've heard, and there has now been reviewers who have seen the new Animal Farm movie who are also saying that it's not anti-cronyism, it's not anti-corporatism, it is in fact anti-capitalist and pro-socialist, which is the opposite of what the messaging of Animal Farm should be and was in the book. So intrigued I am. The reason that's super interesting, because like you would kind of expect that from a regular Hollywood studio, like something like that. I mean, Andy Serkis is the director here. He does at least one of the voices for one of the characters. Seth Rogen, I believe, does voices in here. It's a whole A-list celebrity casting. Like all of the voices in here are people that you will know instantly. But again, coming from any regular Hollywood production house, any regular Hollywood movie-making machine, you would expect them to do something anti-capitalist, because that seems to still be the narrative of the entertainment industry, is that capitalism is bad. Even though that is exactly how they thrive, their virtue signaling is a little too much for even their own interpretation, so capitalism bad. But the twist here is this is not a big Hollywood production house. This is not some studio that's been around for ages that is trying to capitalize on the modern narrative. This is Angel Studios that's putting this out. Angel Studios is a Christian-run studio, which a Christian company feeding into socialist narratives is a little broken. Very explicitly, socialism is against Christianity. So why they would greenlight this and think that they can get away with this messaging is very strange and confusing. But there have been claims that this trailer kind of reframes the argument from their side of things. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. Also, the movie itself, they're claiming, is getting a bad rap before anybody has properly seen it. So they're trying to get us to go watch it anyway. I mean, the last movie they did was The Story of David, the animated version. I'm pretty sure it was David. The animated version. And now they're doing this is just so mind-boggling right now. Let's watch the trailer and see if there's anything is different or if they're just leaning into this socialist messaging. It's 2 minutes long, so let's go.
Many seasons ago, we all dreamed that one day animals would be free.
We are going on vacation.
What does that say?
It says, Laughter House.
That sounds awesome. I love to laugh.
It's a slaughterhouse.
We're all gonna die! We did it! Animals run the farm!
All animals are equal.
What could possibly go wrong?
Our experiment is working.
All of us together.
It's time to farm.
Okay. Real quick. The all animals are equal sentiment. It's been so long since I read the book, but I'm pretty sure that was how the Bolsheviks sold their version of socialism in the Red Revolution. They said all people are equal, just some people are a little more equal than others. It was kind of how it turned out. While they said one thing, in practice they did another thing, and so that's kind of where that is. So this idea that they've created some sort of utopia already is going against the messaging of the book, because it wasn't a utopian society that they created. the pigs took over. They put all of the work on the horses. They put all of there were there was another animal that got most of the work, but I explicitly remember the horses being like the ones that did most of the work, and the pigs were the ones that reaped most of the benefit because they were the ones running the show. It was brilliantly, I mean, like, I was not a huge fan of the book. Like, the messaging is great, but I'm not a big fan of Orwell's actual words on the page. Like, I think his ideas are phenomenal, and like, people should actually read them and know what the hell he's saying. But this is so, the idea that they're trying to put through by saying all animals are equal is that all people are equal, right? That would be the logical. I don't know if maybe I'm projecting, maybe I'm trying to read their mind. Maybe there's some sort of logical fallacy here that I'm falling into. But it seems to me that the argument that they're trying to make with this is that they've created a utopia where all the people, all the animals involved, and the animals here are allegory for the people involved, are equal. Which is not accurate. Like, everyone is of equal value. Like, human life in general is of equal value, but people themselves are not all equal. We all have different talents. We all have different specifics about us that set us apart in different ways, which means we're not equal in our value. That's even not an adequate way of phrasing it. We're not all equal in our contributions to society. We are all equal in the value of life. We are not all equal in the abilities through which we can contribute to the culture and the society, right? It's just a fact of life. It is just the way of the world. It is the way of nature. You look at any animal group, and there are going to be some animals that contribute more, which means they are more valuable to the societal growth of that group of animals than the ones who are sickly and lame. Some animals kill the sickly and lame. That's not how humans should or do take care of things, at least not in a proper civilized society, but that should be recognized that not everyone contributes equally. Not everyone can contribute equally, and that is okay. We also should not take from those who contribute. We should not just take their contributions and give to those who can't contribute, because that's also broken. You work, you earn what you eat, right? And we should be charitable in ourselves, that we can take care of those who can't earn, but it should not be a mandate passed down by our governing body. It should just come from the goodness of our hearts. That is the balance. That is, and people try and say that that's a socialist argument, and it's not. The socialist argument is that the government mandates that charity. And anytime the government steps in to mandate something like charity is when it breaks, because you're forcing people to give up their earned, because you're creating a quota for how much they need to give up of their earned the bits, whatever they're making, whatever the monetary exchange is. You're mandating that they give that up to people who can't contribute. You're mandating that they become lesser. But this is such a long argument that's been going forever. We're not going to get into these crazy details, but it's so bizarre that this is coming from Angel Studios. Let's continue.
This milk ain't gonna drink itself.
It's supposed to be shared.
There is no supposed to anymore.
This is less than yesterday. Or more than tomorrow. Depends on how you look at it. Move along, sheep.
This is all wrong. Can't you see what's happening?
Our dream was becoming a nightmare.
It's our farm. Our home. So what do? We rebel. And we start right now.
All animals are equal.
I have have to fix all of this.
Some are more equal than others.
So, that did come from the book, Some More Equal Than Others. This right here, this Glenn Close's character, we're strangely not touching on in this trailer, because this is where the anti-capitalist sentiment comes from. Yes, this character, it seems, but judging by the trailer, the last trailer we got, it seems that this character is actually a bad character and does bad things, which is, I mean, that happens. There are bad people everywhere, even in a proper capitalist society. But it's very interesting that this is kind of looks like Elon Musk's mom, kind of. Like, it's interesting, right? And she drives a Cybertruck. I mean, slightly modified for the cartoon in order for it to be legally distinct, but pretty obviously a Cybertruck, right? Like, so veiled insults noted. Let's continue.
Did we plan this? No, this was not part of the plan.
A cautionary tale. In theaters May 1st. Recommended for ages 11 and up.
See, nope. It does. This just looks more like they're hiding their messaging, not so much like they've corrected it. But we've got to move on. We're running out of time here, nerds. We have a new Lord of the Lost, or we have the Lord of the Lost Wednesday 13 that I meant to do when it came out 2 weeks ago, and we just never did. Let's do that one, and then we'll call that our stream. Actually, no, I take it back. We're just going to end there. We will do new music next stream, so later this week. Sadly, we've just run out of time. I need to eat before I go to work. So there's that. So thank you very much, nerds. I appreciate you all joining me here. Don't forget to, check out all of the things and get back into my streaming software. Don't forget to, check out the merch. Get your music nerd shirt. There's a bunch of other merch up there too, so you can proclaim to the world just exactly what kind of nerd you really, really are. Also, don't forget that we have the Dubby special, generally nerdy at checkout, get you 10% off of any purchase. They are a channel partner. They are awesome. They have really tasty energy drinks, so go check them out. All of that being said, I appreciate your faces, nerds. I have to go eat breakfast. It is time to, adult for the day. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably